else I hear? Well, I am going to make something like this, but not this, because I made this and this just didn't work for my big end grain cutting boards. It looks cool, but this is good for something smaller, I think. Like a dish or, I don't know. So it looks cool, but it just didn't work. So I looked around on Pinterest and other things for different styles, and I found a style that I liked. So this one I do like because you can straighten it like that and then you can put it in a drawer, you know, if you don't want it to be out. So that was nice. But I found another design where it's 3 pieces, so you can just take it apart and it will lay flat in a drawer. So what I did was I designed something similar-ish on my laser. Can you see that? So I designed that on my laser. And these are the 2 pieces. And then I made this square to be 3/4 of an inch. So this little piece you cut out, and then those 2 sit together, and it's, you know, it's a stand. And so I made those 3/4 of an inch square so that I can mill up some boards pretty easily to 3/4 of an inch, so it'll work. So let's do it.
I am running this just as a demonstration. I did try to make some of these using pine and it broke. I'll discuss more about that later. And here's the piece of wood with the lasered pattern on it. It's a scrap piece of monkey pod. The laser does a great job, but you could always use a paper pattern, and I have a link in the description box for the pattern. And you can make that 3rd straight piece in whatever dimension you want, just as long as it matches the little square piece that you cut out, which could also be whatever dimension you want. Then I went to my trusty scroll saw, and using a number 5 blade, I cut them out. As I said before, I cut out some pieces in pine, but one broke. Then one of my thick, good pieces had a natural crack in it, and that was on the verge of cracking apart. I tell you, I cut 8 of these that day, and only 3 were usable.
I have this board, and it is 3/4 of an inch thick. And now I'm gonna cut it in 3/4 of an inch strips. Okay, let's see how the pieces fit. Little snug there. See if it's any different that way. Nope, little snug there. And a little snug there. And I have just the tool to make those unsnug. Okay, with this thing, I can just sand a little bit on each side, or one side, and see if I can get it to fit in there. So let's just do it.
And I was able to do one side, but not the other. The piece was just too long for the tool. So then I used a sanding stick to work on the side the little belt sander couldn't reach.
You know, I made one of these already, and it was really easy to do, and it worked the first time. Not this time. Just make sure it's straight. See if that works. See, it's not seating all the way down. So we need to adjust that a little bit. Let's see how this one's doing. That one is also not seating all the way down. So I need to make a little bit of changes just so it will seat all the way. The pencil.
So I marked where I needed to square up the tops of those cutouts to see if I could make them seat all the way. And I just squared up the top cut.
There. Yay. Okay. I'm just going to sand them up real quick.
I ran over them with the orbital and then some hand sanding.
All right, let's see. How big do I want it to be? But let's cut it off here and here. Yeah. So we'll cut it off real quick.
Since I'm using scraps, this piece here had a tenon, it appears, on each end. So I trimmed the piece down, cutting those tenons off. You've got a nice clear shot of my shoulder there. Sorry about that.
Alrighty, now, I know I cut this 3/4 by 3/4, but it's not really 3/4 by 3/4. Alright, so that, see, it fits on there easily that way. So in this one, yeah, easily that way. So we want this to be like the top or the bottom. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mark an X here so that whoever has their breadboard, they want to use the stand, they don't have to go, oh, it doesn't fit, oh, it's this way. So let's put a verse on there.
So hopefully you understood what I was trying to show you. My little connector board is not completely square. So since the side stand pieces fit on only when it is in one position, I'm going to put the verse on the connector so that whoever uses this knows which way to orient the connector to place those side pieces easily. And the verse I am putting on is Habakkuk 3:2, which says, I stand in awe of your deeds, Lord. I thought that was a pretty awesome verse for a stand.
Okay, so here it is, the verse. So it'll go like that. Yay! That kind of sits there like it's hanging a little bit, but you know what, that's okay. And here is a cutting board that I'm working on. So yeah, awesome. This sits just like that. Holds that cutting board up. And if you don't want the verse up top, you just put it on the bottom like that. Oh, I still have my X there. I should sand it off. There. But I like it with the verse on top. There. It's perfect for a stand. Yeah. So now I'm going to put some finish on it and it'll be all finished. Ah! Ah! This is a finish that husband made. I love it. It's just carnauba wax and some kind of oil. This wood here is monkey pod. I have so much left from that desk I made. So it'd be nice to use it up like this. Yeah, it's such pretty wood.
So I wiped it on all the pieces using a handy dandy old sock and then used a towel to wipe them all dry.
Okay, now let's check it out. This is the not finished cutting board, but it'll work. There. Yay. So there it is. Awesome. That'll work. That will work. And so then to take it out, you know, we just put it away like that in the drawer. Or like this. Like that. I do have to say, I redesigned this since that one I showed at the beginning of the video. So I had cut it out and it broke because it was too thin right here. Oh, seriously. So I made it thicker right there. And so now it's nice and solid. Yeah. Where this was pretty thin and weak. So I'm kind of glad it broke so that it wouldn't break on the person, whoever has it, when they're using it for a stand. Anyway, so now, yay, it's thicker and that works. Doesn't change what you see because you only see this part. So, yay! So thanks for joining me, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye!